Hello, everybody, and welcome to Brightspace. This is the online learning platform that you'll be using to access your online learning materials for your MDMA therapy training program. So hopefully by now, if you're watching this video, you've received the welcome email from Brightspace, which included your username, which is, as a reminder, formatted as first name dot last name. And you've also been able to create your password. If you have not received those emails from Brightspace, please email training support at mapsbcorps.com so that our team can assist you. Really, the focus of today's video is to orient you within the Brightspace learning platform so that you spend less time figuring out where things are and more time exploring the course, immersing yourself in the materials, and getting ready for your upcoming retreat. So before we actually dive into the course and walk you through that, I just want to spend a few minutes looking over the homepage of Brightspace. You'll notice here the MAPS public benefit logo in the upper left-hand corner. You can always click this logo and it will take you back to the home screen of Brightspace. So again, before we jump into my courses, let's just show you how to update a few things with your profile. So if you move over to the right-hand side of the homepage, you click on your name. My name's Corey, so that's why you see that name there. If you click on profile, this will give you an opportunity to update your information here, upload a photo, add any contact info, anything like that. It's really up to you how much you choose to share, if at all. So have your pick there. That's profile. Don't worry about portfolio. We're not really using that right now. Something else I would recommend is clicking on notifications. And this is where you can control the flow of information that's coming to you from Brightspace in the form of updates, reminders. For example, if you want reminders of upcoming due dates or announcements or anything like that, you can come down here and adjust those. I would strongly recommend keeping any announcement notifications checked off so that you receive those via email. We find that a very helpful way to communicate with trainees and at a mass scale so we don't have to individually email you all about major updates that affect everybody. So definitely keep those on. Just some general guidance, I suppose. Some students or trainees, I should say, do get a little overwhelmed with the number of notifications they're receiving. So if you find yourself in that bucket, you can absolutely come in here and adjust these. Again, the ones that I would highly recommend keeping on are announcements, anytime a new announcement is made available, or anytime we might have to update an existing announcement. Um, so just wanted to show you that as well. And finally, if you come to click on your name and then you click on account settings, this is where you can update your password if you need to. You can update your pronouns, font settings, anything to help customize this experience for you as much as possible so that it's a great positive learning journey. So again, just wanted to show you some information under homepage. Now I'm sure you're all eager to jump into the course itself. So to do that, when you come here under my courses, for me, I'm enrolled in a lot of courses because I'm a training coordinator on the training team. So we do a lot of testing and QA. You will not have this many courses to pick from. For you, what you will do when you're in here is click on MDMA Therapy Training, October 2022, New York. Since you're having your retreat at Omega, you just click the name of the course. And now we're in the course. Here you go. So you can see here, this blue horizontal bar at the top of the page, this is called the navigation bar, and we'll spend a little bit of time walking through it. This is just kind of like your control panel in a way, like if you were flying a plane, riding cockpit, these would be all the controls that you have up front with you that might look a little intimidating at first, but once you mess around with them for a little bit, you'll get much more comfortable. So please, 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 after you watch this video, spend some time orienting yourself within the navigation bar. I highly recommend looking over the frequently asked questions. There's a lot of great information in there. There's a calendar feature as well, which allows you to view upcoming due dates in a calendar format. You can also subscribe that calendar to your Gmail, to your Outlook, anything like that. And that's all explained in the FAQ. Shameless plug for FAQ. Assessment tools. This is where you'll actually go to check your grades in the course, submit assignments. You'll eventually come into this space to download your certificate of completion at the end of your training once you've knocked out all of your requirements. So just wanted to point these out here because a lot of the questions that we receive to the training support inbox, I'm very often directing trainees back to something available via the nav bar. So just planting seeds early that these resources are here and they are available for you to use and help you get oriented and organized in the course. Same thing with checklist. I'm actually going to open up checklist. This is a feature that we created based on feedback from trainees. As you can see, for all of my learners out there who love checklist, I highly recommend using this. This is an interactive tool that you'll be using on your side of things if you so choose to help you stay organized in the course. So we'll go ahead and open it up together, the course requirements checklist. You can see here we have recommended due dates built into Brightspace to help you stay on top of all of your course requirements. Keep in mind, these are recommendations. If you submit things after the deadline that's listed in Brightspace, that's totally fine. As long as all of your course requirements are submitted in Brightspace no later than Tuesday, November 15th, 2022 at 11:59 Pacific time. You'll notice your retreat, I should say, actually wraps up on October 14th. So you have about a month buffer time between the end of your retreat and the official end of the course. We certainly understand that you're all quite busy professionals and are doing so much already to be of better selfless service in your community. So we do have some extra time built into the back end of the course to help you make that up if you need it. That being said, as much as you're able to stay on the suggested timeline proposed to you in Brightspace by the training team, that really is designed to help you integrate as much material as possible prior to the retreat. But again, if you need a little extra time on the back end, not a problem. But I definitely recommend just staying organized by checking these items off as you complete them. For example, maybe during the retreat week, you start marking your attendance this way. We scroll down here, you'll see a brief description of each course requirement, in this case, assignments. And they're sorted by due date here. We'll just pretend that I'm submitting all these things. And this is actually something that you're updating on your end, on your own. The training team is not submitting this on your behalf. We're actually updating everything for our side of things in the grade book. So ideally, this course requirements checklist that you're managing on your end would in fact mirror the grade book. The only time that would not be the case is if there's any delay between you submitting an assignment and our training team reviewing and providing feedback on the assignment, which does happen. So be prepared for that. You may have to wait a little bit to get feedback on assignments, but you also receive timestamp notifications and email notifications when you submit things, so you have that as a receipt as well. There's a lot of different ways to stay organized in Brightspace, so we just want to make sure that you are all familiar with where these tools are located so that you can in turn help yourself. Okay, so we've talked about course home, announcements, FAQ, calendar, assessment tools, checklist, and then we also have discussions here. Keep in mind that all of the discussion boards for this training, they're flagged as optional, so they're not necessarily going to be factored into whether or not you receive a certificate of completion. But that being said, just to give you an idea of what these look like, we do have a rideshare board created if you want to try to carpool or do a car rental together or anything like that. You can organize here. That'll also be available to you in the WhatsApp group that will be created for everybody. Also, some optional boards here related to social, networking, resources, feedback on coursework, all that good stuff. And then these are the optional topics that are also going to be embedded within the content itself, which is what we're actually going to preview next. I saved the best for last. So you'll notice here some discussion around fear of the unknown, how you would handle those situations, sharing self-care resources with one another, and some juicy discussion around music in MDMA assisted therapy sessions, sharing playlists, that type of good stuff. All right, so just again, as a refresher, when in doubt, just click on Course Home to get back to the content. That's what we're going to do right here. So now what we'll actually do is spend the rest of our time together just talking about how to navigate the course content itself. We definitely recommend accessing the materials on a computer, like desktop, laptop, if possible. You can also use your phone or a tablet, but again, a lot of the content that we have is available via e-learning format. So the smaller the screen, the more challenging it will be to really be able to view everything in the way it was intended to be consumed. But again, ideally, you're accessing these materials from a computer, desktop, laptop, totally fine. You can also do a phone or a tablet. Ideally, in the web browser, there is an app called Pulse. What I've that's made for Brightspace learners. What I've noticed is that our e-learning modules are not super fun to look at on the app. So if you're using a phone or a tablet to access Brightspace, totally fine. Just use a web browser instead of the Pulse app if possible. Okay? So after that, let's jump into the content. I know I've been talking about that for a long time. So content page here. What you'll notice in Brightspace is it does its absolute best to try to pick up where you left off when you last logged on. It's not always 100% reliable, but you do have these little, like you can see in the getting started guide here, I've done 6 out of 6 items. In unit 1, I've done 19 out of 25. So again, if for any reason you know you've done something, but it's not getting checked off, it's not a big deal because what we're looking for within the context of successfully completing course requirements is, are you submitting everything for review that's specifically listed under grades, assessment tools, grades? So if you're curious about what those are, click on in. There's 27 items total that make up attendance at the retreat, various assignments, quizzes, experiential elective, and your tuition being paid in full. So just a little more context there. But to actually jump into the content, you'll see these blue horizontal bars. These are the names of each unit. So you'll open up the respective unit by clicking on the blue bar, and then you'll click this blue launch unit button, and this will actually take you into the course build. What I just did, I should narrate what I'm doing, There's a hamburger icon in the upper left-hand corner. You'll click it, and then you have another control panel here, just kind of navigating you through the getting started guide. You'll also have these arrows in the upper right-hand corner that you can navigate between activities in. You'll see here some of the pages that you can either print or download. You're more than welcome to do that whenever you see these buttons available in Brightspace, but keep in mind, you're not, please don't share this information with anybody. This is for your eyes only as a trainee in this program, and we trust that you will keep this information confidential, okay? So again, just kind of scrolling through here so you can see what the learner experience actually looks like as you're getting started. Again, another shameless plug for the frequently asked questions. We do receive a lot of emails and we're happy to help, and we do prioritize timely responses to those that are currently enrolled in active cohorts. As the program continues to grow and evolve, we have more and more people reaching out, which is really exciting. So please be patient with us as we do our absolute best to serve your needs and make sure you have a good experience in the course. And just know that if you're ever stuck in the course and you're not able to move forward, we're definitely prioritizing replying to that type of information sooner rather than later so that you can get unstuck and just get on with the material. So before you'll actually be able to view all of the content in this course, you'll actually need to submit these assessments within the Getting Started guide. So just wanted to go over those really quick. It'll take you about 1 hour. You'll notice there's a confidentiality agreement, acknowledgement of course requirements, and also a pretest. So you can actually access all of those directly here. Again, just continuing to scroll through. You'll read through this confidentiality agreement. I'm not going to read it out loud to you for the sake of time, but you can see here, I submitted mine on August 19th. I see my submission there. I'm done. Same thing with the acknowledgement of course requirements. Please read this. I say that not to be funny because there's actually a lot of really good information in here. Again, a lot of things that I get questions about in the inbox quite a bit. So again, just pointing out where these resources are located so that you can empower yourself with information as you're moving through the course. The one that'll take you the longest amount of time I would anticipate is this pretest. And the reason we hide all of the content before you can view everything is so that this is a true pretest. It's really helpful for our assessment team to see what your baseline knowledge is at the beginning of the course, and then we'll give you this same assessment at the end of the course. And ideally, your scores go up, and if they don't, that just kind of shows our team where we need to refine some of the learnings that we're offering so that everyone's on the same page and moving in that upward learning growth trajectory. So again, just wanted to spend a little bit of time going into the content build itself. We definitely recommend going through one unit at a time in the chronological order. So therefore, i.e., try to wrap up unit 1 before moving on to unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, so on and so forth. If we just look at unit 1 really quick, let's go ahead and launch it. We'll open up the hamburger icon. You'll see recommended study times at the top of each unit to help you gauge time. And you'll notice we have each unit divided up into a number of lessons. So this one's divided into the historical context, an introduction to MDMA-assisted therapy, clinical knowledge, and non-ordinary states of consciousness. So you would go through each lesson and their corresponding learnings. You can see those here. And then at the end of each unit, there's going to be a folder of assessments. Anything you see under the assessment folder within each unit is a requirement to earn your certificate of completion. So you can see here in Unit 1, we have a review quiz. I need to read the MDMA therapy treatment manual and sign off on the acknowledgement. Oh, and it looks like I also have to look over some information about the experiential elective verification process. Okay, I'll knock those out. And then you'll also see here that we have optional resources built into each unit. These are great. If you're feeling overwhelmed with the amount of content to move through, I would recommend maybe skipping these on your first pass. And keep in mind that you will have access to Brightspace through the end of the year. So if you're not able, again, to get to everything before the retreat and you really want to come back and look at this later, you totally can, okay? Especially with, let me just show you again really quick. You have the ability to either print or download some of these materials. So for example, if I wanted to do that with IFS and psychedelic reading right here from Morgan, I could download it or print it and then save it to my computer and come back to later, even after I lose access to Brightspace. And you will not lose access to Brightspace until around the end of the year, and you will receive plenty of advance notification before we do that. So I don't want you to worry about that right now. Just focus on getting started with the material and really immersing yourself in the content. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover with you today. Again, with regards to your next steps and what you need to be focusing on now, work on these Getting Started guide assessments. That way, once you have check marks next to each of these items, you'll see access to units 1 through 4. We'll also release what's called Unit 5 closer to the upcoming retreat. This will actually include some additional case videos that you'll view before the training. These would be videos of actual clinical trial sessions within the MDMA therapy research that's currently taking place. So we'll get that in there for you once that's ready to share. There'll be some additional tasks there. And then after you complete the retreat in October, we'll have a unit called post-retreat. that shows up in Brightspace with some additional wrap-up tasks for you. And again, you'll always be provided advance notice as these additions to the course content build become available. So make sure you get started on the Getting Started Guide assessments. Do your best to follow the recommended due date schedule in Brightspace, but again, just know that you do have until November 15th to wrap up everything to receive your certificate of completion. And we absolutely look forward to meeting you at Omega in October. Thank you so much for joining us today and for viewing this video. I hope you learned a little bit along the way. And if you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, please, please, please send an email to trainingsupport@mapsbcorps.com. Have a great day.